Hey guys, I'm back, and today I have been watching YouTube Shorts a lot, especially since I've been going through different cities today to celebrate my sister's birthday. And today I went across a video of the Mount Rushmore of video game characters. It's heavily talked about, but I haven't really thought about it until I seen this video. I forgot who it was by, but he's seen this chart that someone made, and it was completely wrong in his mind. So I kind of agreed with it, but instead of using my opinions, I wanted to mathematically rate the characters. So I have put out a list of the 11 most known characters to me. I'm not sure if they could be considered the most known as a whole, but those are the ones I decided had the best chance at being the Mount Rushmore. Alright, let's get into it. So, I have 11 characters, which are Mario, Pikachu, Link, Crash Bandicoot, Master Chief, Pac-Man, Sonic, Kirby, Spyro, Mega Man, and the Tetris block, I guess, but Tetris as a whole, it's like with Crash Bandicoot, I'm not sure if there's a different name for the actual character. That's just someone I thought would be fitting up here. Alright, so let's keep going. So first off, what we have to decide this mathematically are the age, the secondary popularity, which is like how popular the other lesser known characters are, the how well they were franchised, like merchandise, games as a whole, games and video games included, and other platforms, recognizability, like you could see a random thing and be like, oh hey, that looks like that character, like that's how I think of that anyway. And company is more so to make sure there's not many of the same company on here, but I will have made another one where if there could be multiple from the same company, if that makes sense. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, first off, age. So the oldest here is Pac-Man, which surprised me. I thought Tetris would be the oldest, but it's not. Second off, Mario. It is made just... Yeah, okay, sorry, I had to make sure I did it right. Yeah, second is Mario. Third, finally Tetris. Fourth is Link. That surprises me. Fifth is Mega Man. Sixth is Sonic. Seventh is Kirby. Eighth is Pikachu, of course. Ninth is... Crash Bandicoot. I thought it was older than that, by the way, honestly. It's honestly not that old in terms of older video games, which is crazy. 10th is Spyro, which that I expected. And of course, last being Master Chief, being the youngest, which is weird to say considering it was made in 2001. So being the youngest of the oldest yet. Yeah, anyway, next up. So first up, we have on the secondary popularity Pikachu, then we have Mario, then we have Sonic, then we got Spyro, Pac-Man. For sixth, I just read it. I'm so smart. Sorry about this. For sixth, we have Link. Whoops. Seventh, we have Tetris. I'm not fully sure what my logic was on that, but I trust it, so I'm going to say that. Eighth, we got Kirby, mostly because of Meta Knight, I'm going to be honest. Ninth, we have Mega Man, mostly because there's a lot of characters, and I recognize them, but I could not tell you for the life of me the names of them, aside from Mega Man himself. Alright, 10th, Master Chief, because most of the reason it's not last is because some of the monsters got copied to other games. Well, mostly copied. They got their design slightly changed. But for the most part, they were just copy-pasted. And then last, Crash Bandicoot. You're going to notice a common theme for Crash Bandicoot. Alright, for how well they were franchised. So, as I already explained, merchandise, shows, whatnot. First up, we got Pikachu. Way too many shows, got a few movies. Started as card games, obviously. And plushies, all that. And then second and third were really close. I put second as Sonic. And the only reason it beat out Mario is because of the very big rise in popularity because of the movies that they've been putting out sort of lately. I can't say if it's like super early, but still probably more recognizable to very young children. And next up, we got Mario for third. And, thanks to the newest movie, their plushies, once again, they started on other stuff. Alright, and next up, we got Pac-Man. This was another close one with Pac-Man and Spyro. And that's more so... I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. Pac-Man at fourth. I can't remember. Again, I trust what I say. Or wrote, I guess. Fifth is Spyro. I love the show. I used to have a bunch of the toys, so I guess sort of biased. I mean, that's why I put Crash Bandicoot, after all, in the first place. Because I used to play all the games of Crash Bandicoot. Oh, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. For sixth, we got Master Chief. Seventh, we have... I already lost it. Link. And that's... Link would have been lower, but, they got that new movie coming up, I think, 2027. Eighth, we've got Tetris. Not that Tetris has done too much themselves. They made, mini arcade machine things. I've been wanting to get one. I love Tetris. That's actually why I got Block Blast, because I thought it was just Tetris. But, for phone. Anyway. Ninth, we've got Kirby. It's got a lot of merchandise, but, just like all Nintendo games, because Nintendo wants to keep it exclusive, they are kept on only Nintendo stuff. So, very unfortunate. Kirby would have been higher if not for that. 10th, we got Mega Man, mostly because of that show that I think they had a show. Don't quote me on that. And, their entrance into Super Smash Bros. But that's most game characters, so that's sort of not fair for this. And, of course, last is Crash Bandicoot. Lastly, we have recognizability. So, children of all ages and all-aged adults, how easily they'd recognize it. From it being, the character itself to, that gumball looks like Pac-Man, Kirby, whatever, stuff like that. And so, okay, first off, we got Pikachu. Of course, too much Pokemon stuff, obviously. Second up, we got Sonic, mostly because of it having several shows and 3 movies. I think 3, maybe 4. Then we got Mario for third, because it's Mario, obviously. Fourth, we got Pac-Man, surprisingly. But that does kind of make sense, especially with that 2010 show. I think it was in 2014. And then fifth, we got Link, of course. It's still on the older side, not super old, but It's the fourth oldest, so of course it's going to be here. And for sixth, we have Master Chief, because of it having, I think, one movie. The second one was canceled before they put it out, and the 2-season show that no one liked. Oh, and there are being like 6 Halo games, I think, something like that. Seventh, we have... Seventh... Hold on, did I not put a 7th? Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Oh, hold on. Okay, once again, I'm sorry about that, but 7th is Kirby. Again, nerfed because it being basically nowhere, of course. But it is the shape of a gumball, so anytime I get like a bubblegum flavored gumball, I think of Kirby, Alright, and next up, 8th is Tetris, of course, so if I see like a line of 3 cubes or squares, I think Tetris, Block Blast, all the stuff sort of related around Tetris. Alright, 9th, we have Spyro, because they haven't put too much out lately. I think the last thing they put out was in like 2022. 10th, we got Mega Man, not much to say, and sadly Crash Bandicoot. It has disappointed me how bad Crash Bandicoot has done throughout this whole thing. Alright, the final rankings. And this is when I'm including, even if they're the same company, that will be for after. For last, Crash Bandicoot being last for 3 out of the 4, and the only one it wasn't last for was Age. Alright, and then 10th was, unfortunately, Mega Man. I know there's a lot of Mega Man fans out there, but it's probably on the smaller side, so sorry to say, but it did place 10th. At least not last. Crash Bandicoot. Alright, for 9th, we got Master Chief. It's too young, so it was basically guaranteed to do kind of terrible here, and not to mention a flop of a show that there was. But that's not the series' fault. It's bad director. Anyway, sorry about the ranting. For 8th. 8th. Here we go. 8th is Kirby. Now, thanks to it being on the older side, it did get an upper hand, but it feels closer to the age of, per se, Spyro, which it's 6 years older than. It probably would have gotten like 9th or 10th instead of 8th. Alright, and 7th is Spyro. It's Spyro, so of course, again on the younger side, so it was guaranteed. But still did pretty good all around. Anyway, 6th. 6th is Tetris. Now, with it being the 3rd oldest, I thought it'd do better. But it did. It's still placed technically on the higher side. It was the middle. Alright. For 5th, we have Link. Now, it did... That's what I thought I'd get, honestly. That's what I thought Link would get. So, just out of the total Rushmore, but, I'll explain that other part after. Alright, so for 4th, we have Pac-Man. It is a indie game that did very well. Well, indie, And I'm surprised, honestly. that it made the Mount Rushmore. But I'm very glad it did, because I used to play all the Pac-Man games. Well, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and I loved watching the show when I was super little. Alright, and for third, we have, I believe, yep, Sonic. Sonic for third. Makes sense, it being sort of known as the rival to Mario. For second, we have Pikachu. Now, the only reason Pikachu lost to Mario is actually because of the age. It got first place on all the other ones except for age. So if age wasn't in this, Pikachu would have stomped the competition. Funny enough. In fact, that's part of why Mario got first, is because it's the second oldest. And so for that, let's go on to the actual Mount Rushmore, how I would put it all together. So for the Mount Rushmore, it would be Mario, because it was the best Nintendo game, and so that takes out Pikachu, Link, Kirby, and Mega Man. Now, I know what you're going to say. Mega Man's not a Nintendo game. What are you talking about? But for the age to count, that's actually part of it. The first ever time Mega Man was on a video game was on a Nintendo system. So it's technically a Nintendo game in that sense, you know? Alright, and so second place for this one, Sonic. Thanks to it being, you know, not by a major company. Now third, we got Pac-Man. Of course, this is basically the same, just without Pikachu. You know, 1, 2, 3. But finally, we got Tetris. Went from 6th to 4th. And the only reason it wasn't just cut out is because of Link being a Nintendo, well, Legend of Zelda, I guess, being a Nintendo game. So there you have it. The mathematical Mount Rushmore of video game characters. We got Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, and Tetris. The Tetris block, whatever you want to call it. But if there are other characters you would have liked me to point out or count, make sure to comment it. Alright. Peace.